Guys, welcome to the video of my Goat format deck, and let's get right into it. So first off, the big boss monster of the Goat format, Blackluster Soldier, and right at the beginning, it's amazing. It's why you want to run a lot of darks and lights. You can banish them to summon him, then you can banish cards from your opponent's field, you can attack twice. He's the strongest monster in the Goat format, by far. Secondly, playing some tribute monsters, playing Jinzo and Ernight Barsov. Jinzo, it allows you to be aggressive when you want to, because your opponent will not be able to activate traps. He will still be able to activate Scapegoats or Book of Moon, for example, but still it disables most of your opponent's defenses. And Ernight Barsov as well, it allows you to be aggressive while your opponent is playing really defensive, and it can punish Scapegoat tokens. Next up, we're playing some standard good monsters. Breaker the Magical Warrior allows you to destroy a spell or trap of your opponent. That's a really strong effect in this format, as there is only a very limited amount of spell and trap disruption. Next up, playing one DD Warrior Lady. This allows you to get rid of anything that you want by banishing it, as well as DD Warrior Lady itself. It's really strong. It also has decent stats, 1500 attack, 1600 defense. It's a well-rounded, well-balanced monster. Next up, playing one Blade Knight. Blade Knight is nice in my opinion, because it can beat over flip effect monsters without allowing them to activate their flip effects. This effect is only active when it's the only monster in your field. Still, it can also go up to 2000 attack when you only have one or no cards in your hand. So that's also a nice bonus effect. So now we're getting into the slightly weaker monsters, but with stronger effects. First off is Sengen. It allows you to search for almost any monster in your deck, because you have to play a lot of monsters with less than 1500 attack. Great monster, yeah. Nothing else to say about this, it's strong. Next up, Tsukuyomi, allowing you to abuse a lot of flip effect monsters. It outs a lot of monsters on your opponent's side of the field as well. Allows you to flip Blackluster Soldier in the beginning, for example, to reset its effects. Allows you to reset 1000 Ties Restricts. It's so versatile, so strong. This is one of the cards that you will almost always be searching with Sengen. Then we move on to the strong flip effect monsters. Playing 2 Magician of Fate. When it's flipped, you can add a spell from your graveyard back to your hand. It's just a really strong effect, because you play so many strong spells. Next card is one Magical Merchant. This allows you, when it's flipped, to excavate the top cards of your deck until you see a spell or trap. You show that to your opponent and you add it to your hand. All the monsters that you encountered while excavating are sent to the graveyard. So it allows you to fill up your graveyard for a Blackluster Soldier at the very beginning. And the last flip effect monster that I'm playing is one Nekochi. When it's flipped, you draw a card. That's basically it. But it has some nice stats: 1400 attack, 1000 defense. It's okay in this format. Now we're moving to some more basic monsters that almost everyone plays, and that is here Sinister Serpent. It's so strong. This is another card that you will be searching with Sengen most of the time. Allows you to discard for free whenever you want to discard something. It's so good. Now we're moving to some monsters that almost no one plays except me, but I like them. And one of them is Injection Fair Lily. I think this card is amazing, because it forces your opponent to really respond to it and activate some resources in order to get rid of it, or else they will be losing their life points pretty quickly. This outs another Envoy as well. It outs almost anything, basically. The only thing you don't really want to do with this card is attack a defense position monster, because you don't want to play 2000 life points to not deal any damage. Then I'm playing one more tribute monster, and that is Testalos, the Firestorm Monarch. When it's tribute summoned, you discard a card from your opponent's hand, and if it was a monster, they take 100 damage per level that the monster had. So it's just another generic discarder. This is not that great when they have Sinister Serpent in their hand, because then you will just be discarding nothing, really. So that's why not a lot of people play it, but I like it. I also think the art is really nice, so that's why I play it. And then the last 4 monsters that I'm playing are also... I'm just playing them for the art, basically. First one is Mini Elf. Yeah, it's a normal vanilla monster. Doesn't really do anything. But it has 1900 attack. That's pretty strong. I like it because it's a nice art. And the last card I'm playing is it is a 3-off. It is not the strongest card, but it is, in my opinion, one of the most beautiful cards that I own. And that is Charcoal Impachi. You can see it only has 100 attack, but it has 2100 defense. That's really strong, because Airnight Parsa, for example, cannot get over it. Many cards in GOAT format cannot get rid of it without wasting resources, so that's nice. It's also a level 1, that's a nice bonus, because it allows you to make 1000 times strict with it when you have Metamorphosis. Yeah. Play it if you want, but I really like it. I know it's not the strongest card, but still, I love it. So now we can move on to the spells. The first couple of spells are spells that pretty much every GOAT format deck will have. First one is Pot of Greed. Yeah, it's Pot of Greed. Everyone knows what it is. Crystal Charity. It's super strong, especially when you combine it with Sinister Serpent, for example. Then you get a free discard. Delinquent Duo. Not every deck plays this, but most control decks do. So you pay 1000 life points and basically discard 2 cards from your opponent's hand. Really strong. Snatch Steal, yeah, it steals games, it's super overpowered. Yeah, play it for sure. Premature Burial. Monster Reborn was not legal in this time, so you play Premature Burial instead. It's almost the same thing, but you have to pay 800 life points. Mystical Space Typhoon. Yeah, as I said before, Spell and Trap Disruption is limited in this format, so play it for sure. Another one that is disrupting spell and traps, and that is Heavy Storm. Careful, because it also destroys your own. Most of the time you can go 1 for 2 or 1 for 3 with this card. Then we're playing some more general spells. Nobleman of Crossout, 2 of them. Yeah, it gets rid of any of those annoying face-down defense position monsters your opponent has. It is also nice in combination with Tsukuyomi, because then you can set your opponent's monster and then Nobleman of Crossout it, if you really have to. 2 Metamorphosis. Yeah, this allows you to basically exchange any monster that you have for a fusion monster with the same level. Yeah, it's really strong. It's banned at the making of this video, at least, and I don't think it will ever come back. It's super strong. I'm playing double Scapegoat. I think 2 is enough. With 3, then sometimes your field is just too cloggy and the tokens aren't that useful except for defense or with in combination with Metamorphosis. So yeah, I only play 2 of them, but they are still really strong. Then some less commonly used spells. I play 1 Book of Moon. It's basically the spell version of Tsukuyomi. I think it's still very useful. It can protect your monsters sometimes. It can also protect you from your opponent's monsters. It can put them into defense so that you can easily beat over them. I like it. I like the versatility of this card. Then I'm playing 1 Enemy Controller. I like this in combination with the Scapegoats or with Sinister Serpent, because then you can steal a monster from your opponent for free, basically. Another thing that many people forget is that you can put an opponent's Scapegoat token into attack with it, and then you can actually deal phase damage while attacking a token. And lastly, I'm playing 1 Brain Control. You paid 800 life points instead of tributing a monster to steal a monster for a turn. Sometimes it comes up. It can be really nice in combination with tribute monsters or with Metamorphosis. That was the last of our spells. So now let's move on to the traps. I'm just playing 5 standard, really good traps. First one is Mirror Force. Yeah, it's the best defensive trap in my opinion, in this format. Playing 1 Ring of Destruction. This can win you games. This can protect you. Yeah, it's really strong. 1 Call of the Haunted. This is your other way to reborn monsters from the graveyard. You should play it. It's too strong not to play it. Torrential Tribute, the board wipe. Yeah, we don't have Raigeki or Dark Hole in this format, so Torrential Tribute is the next best thing. And lastly, a trap that not everyone is playing but it has won me so many games, and that is Magic Cylinder. It's so nice to be able to just burn them and negate an attack at the same time. If they attack with an envoy, you can burn them for 3000 and protect your monster. That's sometimes game winning. So that was the main deck. Now let's take a look at the extra deck, which is actually called the fusion deck in this time. And you can basically just play 3 of every fusion that you have. I'll just show you some of the more important ones. By far the most important one though is 1000 Ice Restrict. Play 3 of it for sure. No other monsters can attack or change their battle position. That's so good to stall, to prevent your opponent from doing anything. And you can use this in combination with Tsukuyomi to be able to take your opponent's monsters one by one and to still attack and stuff. It's the strongest control fusion in the game. Then you have some generic level 3 stuff, for example. Some level 4s. They don't really do anything. There are no really strong options in this level category. But then we move on to level 5. We have Dark Bolter the Terrible and Fiend Skull Dragon. Really nice options. Another third option is also Reaper on the Nightmare, allowing you to attack straight on their life points. You can sometimes win you the game in the right situation. You should at least play these ones. Then for the level 6s, playing 1 Dark Blade the Dragon Knight, playing Ryu Senshi. You can also play Metal Dragon, but it doesn't really do anything. I just like the art of it for some reason. But Ryu Senshi is the main one that you will be going into. Sometimes Dark Blade, because it can banish cards from your opponent's graveyard. You should play these. Then level 7. You don't really encounter level 7s that often. But if you do, King Dragoon is the best option. Otherwise you can use 1000 Dragon because it looks so nice. And for level 8 there is only really one strong level 8, and that is Gatling Dragon, allowing you to toss a coin 3 times, and for each time that it is heads, you destroy a monster on the field. So careful if your opponent only has 1 monster and you only have 1 monster, and you toss a coin twice, then you will have to destroy your own Gatling Dragon. I hope you enjoyed the deck profile. If you have any questions, as always, just leave them in the comments below and I'll try to help you. Bye, see you next time.